Question 1. What is the purpose of a tile map in Unity? Option A. To design and arrange 2D levels using tiles. Option B. To set up physics properties. Option C. To create animations. Option D. To store game assets. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option A. To design and arrange 2D levels using tiles. Explanation. Tile maps are used to design 2D levels by arranging tiles, which represent level elements like floors, walls, and obstacles in a grid. Question 2. Which Unity tool allows you to edit and set up frames for 2D animations? Option A. Physics Manager. Option B. Tile Palette. Option C. A lighting panel. Option D. A sprite editor. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option D. A sprite editor. Explanation. The sprite editor in Unity allows you to cut up a sprite sheet and set up individual frames for animations, ideal for frame-based 2D animations. Question 3. What is the purpose of a collider 2D component in a 2D game? Option A. To set the game resolution. Option B. To control animations. Option C. To define the physical boundaries for collisions. Option D. To add lighting effects. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option C. To define the physical boundaries for collisions. Explanation. Collider 2D components define the boundaries of a game object for detecting collisions, which is essential for interactive elements in a 2D game. Question 4. Which physics material would be useful for adding bounce to a 2D game object? Option A. A physics material. 2D. Option B. Animation clip. Option C. Tile map. Option D. Rigid body. 2D. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option A. A physics material. 2D. Explanation. Physics material 2D allows you to add bounce and friction properties to 2D colliders, which can be used to create bouncy effects on game objects. Question 5. What file format is commonly used for importing sprite sheets in Unity? Option A. A docx. Option B. JPEG. Option C. A PDF. Option D. PNG. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option D. PNG. Explanation. PNG is a popular format for sprite sheets in Unity due to its support for transparency, which is often needed for 2D sprites. Question 6. How do you set the camera to orthographic view in Unity? Option A. Use a rigid body component. Option B. Change the scene to 2D. Option C. Add a sprite renderer. Option D. Set the camera projection to orthographic. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option D. Set the camera projection to orthographic. Explanation. Setting the camera projection to orthographic removes perspective and is commonly used for 2D games to keep scaling consistent. Question 7. What is the purpose of the tilemap collider component? Option A. To detect collisions on tilemap elements. Option B. To manage level lighting. Option C. To add textures to tiles. Option D. To animate tiles. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option A. To detect collisions on tilemap elements explanation. The Tilemap Collider component adds colliders to individual tiles, allowing characters to interact with tiles as physical objects. Question 8. Which view setting helps developers create 2D games in Unity? Option A, perspective camera. Option B, a panoramic camera. Option C, orthographic camera. Option D, VR camera. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option C, orthographic camera. Explanation. Using an orthographic camera keeps objects the same size regardless of distance, making it ideal for 2D game visuals without depth distortion. Question 9. Which type of 2D collider would be best for a character in a platformer game? Option A, box collider. Option B, polygon collider. Option C, tilemap collider. Option D, circle collider. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option A, box collider. Explanation. Box collider is commonly used for character colliders in platformers, as it provides a simple and efficient collision shape for movement and jumps. Question 10. Which component is used to display a 2D image in Unity? Option A, rigid body. 2D. Option B, animator. Option C, a sprite renderer. Option D, a tilemap. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option C, sprite renderer. Explanation. The sprite renderer component displays 2D images, sprites, in Unity, making it a fundamental component in 2D games. Question 11. What is a benefit of using rigid body 2D over rigid body in a 2D game? Option A, rigid body 2D only works with 3D objects. Option B, rigid body 2D prevents animations. Option C, rigid body 2D works more efficiently with 2D physics calculations. Option D, rigid body 2D creates 3D effects. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option C, rigid body 2D works more efficiently with 2D physics calculations. Explanation. Rigid body 2D is optimized for 2D physics, providing efficient calculations and interaction specifically for 2D game environments. Question 12. How can you create a sprite animation in Unity? Option A. Add a collider 2D to the sprite. Option B. Use the animator component and create an animation clip. Option C. Apply a tilemap. Option D. Attach a rigid body 2D to the sprite. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option B. Use the animator component and create an animation clip. Explanation. To animate a sprite, use the animator component with an animation clip, which allows for frame-by-frame or bone-based animations. Question 13. Why is it useful to use the 2D template when creating a Unity project? Option A. It restricts the project to sprites only. Option B. It automatically sets the camera to orthographic view. Option C. It disables animations. Option D. It enables 3D physics by default. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option B. It automatically sets the camera to orthographic view. Explanation. The 2D template sets the camera to orthographic and adjusts settings to optimize the project for 2D development, making it easier to start a 2D game. Question 14. What component is needed to detect player collisions with ground or platforms? Option A, camera. Option B, animator. Option C, sprite renderer. Option D, collider 2D. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option D, collider 2D explanation. Adding a collider 2D to the player enables collision detection with other collider 2D components, essential for platformers and side-scrollers. Question 15. Which mode should be selected in Unity to optimize a project for 2D development? Option A, VR. Option B, 3D. Option C, physics. Option D, 2D. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option D, 2D explanation. Selecting 2D mode in Unity sets up the project with settings and tools optimized for 2D game development, such as a 2D camera view and default sprites. Question 16. Which 2D collider is best suited for circular objects? Option A, Circle Collider 2D. Option B, Polygon Collider 2D. Option C, Box Collider 2D. Option D, a Tilemap Collider 2D. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option A, Circle Collider 2D explanation. Circle Collider 2D is specifically designed for circular or rounded objects, providing an efficient collision shape for spheres and circular objects. Question 17. How can you flip a sprite to create a mirror image? Option A, scale the sprite negatively along the x-axis. Option B, use a polygon collider. Option C, use the rotate function. Option D, adjust the Y position. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option A, scale the sprite negatively along the x-axis explanation. Scaling the sprite negatively along the x-axis, -1, flips it horizontally, creating a mirror effect without needing a new image. Question 18. How can you make a sprite animate on a loop? Option A, switch to 3D mode. Option B, set the animator component to loop. Option C, add a collider 2D component. Option D, use a rigid body 2D component. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option B, set the animator component to loop explanation. Setting the animator component to loop will repeat the animation indefinitely, which is useful for idle animations or continuous movement. Question 19. What does the packing tag property of a sprite do? Option A, changes the sprite scale. Option B, applies lighting to the sprite. Option C, groups sprites into a single texture atlas. Option D, prevents the sprite from rendering. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option C, group sprites into a single texture atlas explanation. The packing tag groups sprites with the same tag into a single texture atlas, optimizing memory usage and improving performance. Question 20. What is the purpose of a tilemap collider in Unity? Option A, to apply materials to tiles. Option B, to render the tilemap with lighting. Option C, to create animation frames. Option D, to add physical boundaries to each tile in the tilemap. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option D, to add physical boundaries to each tile in the tilemap explanation. The Tilemap collider adds physical boundaries to tiles, allowing game objects to collide with individual tiles in the tilemap grid. Question 1. How can you make a game object fall due to gravity in a 2D game? Option A. Use the rigid body 2D component. Option B. Attach a sprite renderer. Option C. Set a collider 2D. Option D. Apply a tilemap. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option A. Use the rigid body 2D component. Explanation. The rigid body 2D component enables a game object to interact with gravity, making it fall and react to physical forces in a 2D game. Question 2. Which input method is commonly used to control a 2D character's horizontal movement? Option A. Get key up. Option B. Get mouse position. Option C. Get axis, horizontal. Option D. Get button down. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option C. Get axis, horizontal. Explanation. Get axis, horizontal, detects left and right inputs, making it ideal for moving a 2D character horizontally in a side-scrolling game. Question 3. How can you prevent a rigid body 2D game object from rotating? Option A. Enable the animator. Option B. Add a box collider. Option C. Disable the sprite renderer. Option D. Set the rigid body 2DS freeze rotation. Option. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option D. Set the rigid body 2DS freeze rotation. Option. Explanation. The freeze rotation option in rigid body 2D prevents the game object from rotating, commonly used in platformers to keep characters upright. Question 4. Which component allows a 2D game object to be affected by gravity and forces? Option A. Rigid body 2D. Option B. Box collider. Option C. Tilemap. Option D. Sprite renderer. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option A. Rigid body 2D. Explanation. The rigid body 2D component enables a game object to be affected by physics properties like gravity, velocity, and forces, crucial for 2D physics. Question 5. Which function is commonly used to apply player movement in a 2D side-scroller? Option A. Move position. Option B. Rotate. Option C. Translate. Option D. Add force. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option C. Translate. Explanation. The translate function is often used for simple 2D movement in side-scrollers, allowing developers to move the player left and right based on input. Question 6. What component helps control player animations based on movement input? Option A. Animator. Option B. Tilemap. Option C. Rigid body 2D. Option D. Collider 2D. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option A. Animator. Explanation. The animator component can switch between animation states based on parameters set by movement input, creating smooth transitions. Question 7. What is the default unit for measuring distances in Unity's 2D games? Option A, pixels. Option B, meters. Option C, inches. Option D, units. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option D, units. Explanation. Unity uses units as the default measurement, where 1 unit in 2D space is typically equal to 1 meter, though it can represent any scale the developer chooses. Question 8. What is the effect of setting a rigid body 2D to kinematic? Option A. It falls under the effect of gravity. Option B. It collides but isn't affected by forces or gravity. Option C. It starts rotating automatically. Option D. It becomes invisible. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option B. It collides but isn't affected by forces or gravity. Explanation. Setting a rigid body 2D to kinematic means it collides with other objects but does not respond to forces or gravity, useful for platforms or walls. Question 9. Which component allows you to edit tile maps in Unity? Option A, Tilemap Renderer. Option B, Sprite Renderer. Option C, Animator. Option D, a tile palette. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option D, Tile Palette. Explanation. The tile palette is used to select and paint tiles onto a tile map, making it an essential tool for designing levels with tile maps. Question 10. How do you create a transparent background for a sprite in Unity? Option A, rotate the sprite 90 degrees. Option B, use a PNG image with transparency. Option C, set the sprite color to white. Option D, add a collider 2D. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option B, use a PNG image with transparency. Explanation. Using a PNG image with transparency preserves the transparent areas in Unity, which is useful for sprites with non-rectangular shapes. Question 11. Which component in Unity is essential for playing frame-by-frame 2D animations? Option A, Animator. Option B, Tile Palette. Option C, Rigid Body 2D. Option D, Physics Material. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option A, Animator. Explanation. The Animator component is essential for playing frame-by-frame or skeletal animations, commonly used for character movements in 2D games. Question 12. How can you use different tile types in a tile map? Option A, use the Sprite Renderer. Option B, create multiple tile map layers. Option C, add the Animator component. Option D, change the Transform component. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option B, create multiple tile map layers. Explanation. Multiple tile map layers allow you to use different types of tiles, enabling complex level design with backgrounds, foregrounds, and interactive tiles. Question 13. What does the bounciness property of a physics material 2D affect? Option A, the bounce effect when colliding. Option B, color of the game object. Option C, the friction of the material. Option D, the size of the collider. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option A, the bounce effect when colliding. Explanation. The bounciness property affects how much the game object will bounce when colliding with other objects, useful for adding a springy effect. Question 14. How can you quickly place tiles on a tile map? Option A. Draw tiles directly in the scene view. Option B. Apply a sprite renderer. Option C. Add a physics material. Option D. Use the tile palette tool. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option D. Use the tile palette tool. Explanation. The tile palette allows developers to paint tiles onto the tile map quickly, providing an intuitive way to design levels in the scene view. Question 15. What is parallax scrolling in 2D games? Option A. A method for rotating sprites. Option B. A technique to create depth by moving background layers at different speeds. Option C. A way to increase frame rate. Option D. A lighting effect. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option B. A technique to create depth by moving background layers at different speeds. Explanation. Parallax scrolling creates depth by moving background layers at different speeds, making 2D games feel more dynamic and layered. Question 16. What does setting the camera to orthographic do in a 2D game? Option A. Adds 3D rotation. Option B. Adds perspective to objects. Option C. Creates a flat view without perspective. Option D. Enables lighting effects. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option C. Creates a flat view without perspective. Explanation. The orthographic camera creates a flat view, ideal for 2D games, as it removes perspective and keeps objects at consistent sizes. Question 17. Which physics component helps simulate realistic movement by applying forces? Option A. Rigid body. 2D. Option B. Sprite renderer. Option C. Tilemap. Option D. Animator. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option A. Rigid body. 2D. Explanation. Rigid body 2D applies forces, allowing for realistic physics interactions such as gravity and collisions, essential for dynamic movement. Question 18. What does setting is trigger on a Collider 2D do? Option A removes the rigid body. Option B disables the collider. Option C allows objects to pass through it but still detect collisions. Option D enables gravity. Take a moment to choose your answer. The correct answer is option C allows objects to pass through it but still detect collisions. Explanation. Setting is trigger on a Collider 2D lets objects pass through while allowing collision events to be detected, ideal for events like area triggers.